All right, there was a shooting at the White House Correspondents Dinner over the weekend, and Trump appeared on 60 Minutes last night to discuss it. And it's just incredible how you can have somebody, an ally in Donald Trump, as Larry Ellison, who has now bought and consolidated all of the media. And Donald Trump still treats the press with disdain. This is an incredible exchange right here. Play the clip.
Called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this, quote, administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this, I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people, horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me.
That is just so stunning to me. The way he says that, I am not a rapist. And then she so cleverly says, oh, you thought he was talking about you? Well, of course. But it just cannot be impressed upon you. And if this is the president of the United States sitting there saying, I'm not a rapist, I'm not a pedophile, because the elephant in the room is that he is. Pumps.
Well, I mean, I hate to tell him, you have been adjudicated in a court of law in the Southern District of New York as a rapist. You are a rapist. And what I found interesting was the turnaround. And to your point about Larry Ellison, I mean, he was on and being interviewed within 24 hours to make sure everybody knew how he, it took me back to the strong man. Like, he has to go and show us how great he is, when really he just made a huge ass of himself, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I just think it's important that he lives in this bubble, and all of these people in his White House live in this bubble. I think it was somebody in his administration after the shooting tried to do the whole USA chant, and it just was crickets in the ballroom, because this president's approval rating is only at the cult level. That's it. So he gets out on 60 Minutes. He gets in front of the White House press corps, and all of the shit that they tell themselves that they're so popular and they're so powerful, it all starts to completely unravel. And I thought this was really interesting. I mean, this is a guy who, I think he's not smart about a lot of things, but I do think he's smart about PR. I do think he has really good instincts about propaganda. And so it was fascinating to me that this image got put out last night. Pop this up. There he is sitting there. And I mean, you can see the cankles, the shoes. You can see, his suits always look like they're not tailored very well. And here he is just popping out this new body. So not only is this administration reeling from, not being able to pitch and sell this illegal war to the United States public, inflation out the wazoo, his dementia, but then he rolls out this. But here in this interview, Trump also goes on to lie and say that he didn't fall down when he was evacuating the White House Correspondents Dinner. And what's so important about this, in my opinion, is of course he fell down. Of course he fell down. But he cannot, he's so thin-skinned. Play the clip.
People. And I probably made them act a little bit more slowly. I said, wait a minute, let me see, wait a minute. So, I'm telling guys.
Just at that moment where it looks like you go sort of down with the service, you were telling them to wait?
Well, no, what happened is then I started walking with them. I started walking, and they said, please go down on the floor. So I went down, and First Lady went down also, but we were asked to go down by the agents as I was walking.
Okay, so now let's watch the video, and we can decide for ourselves. Play the clip. They get little Smokey out, and now they're running to get Trump. And we all know he's completely out of shape. There he falls down, completely tumbles, objectively falls. Objectively, his fat ass falls down. There's just no question about it. He went on to say that the shooter was so fast that the NFL should sign him. Think about that. He also called for a do-over of the event in 30 days because he didn't get his chance to shit on the press and then leave. And I just want to say this. We were invited to go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and we did. No disrespect to anybody who went, but I'm incapable of going to an event like that and pretending like there's not a group of people that are trying to dismantle the American public, some of them corporate media, obviously a lot of them the fascists in this government. Furthermore, I didn't want to sit in a room with like Stephen Miller, RFK Jr., Donald Trump. I mean, no, thank you. It was an easy no. Pumps.
You know what this tells me, this entire incident, like, of course he fell down, that's obvious. But what was interesting to me was the immediate trending on Twitter. Like, this was objectively, this happened. Believe your eyes. There was this shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. But the immediate reaction by the greater public was that it was fake. because everything Donald Trump says is a lie. And when you lie all the time and you do not release information and you're not transparent, it gives way to conspiracy theories. And I read a lot of articles that were like, oh, we've become this conspiracy theory country. The reality is, when the president of the United States and his administration lie to you about everything, then people immediately give them no credibility. So I just found that to be a fascinating nuance of this whole thing.
Well, I think that we're a conspiracy theory country because we have a conspiracy theory president. We have a low information voter
Great point.
conspiracy theory president. He started off his whole political shtick with racism, that Obama was not born in the United States. A massive, objective lie, demonstrable lie. And the American people have, I think there's been this mixing of reality television and high drama and politics. And politics should be boring. Making policy about how to make people's lives better are rather boring. But this is where Trump's genius in only one area, which is PR, come into play. But the fallout from the shooting and the dinner followed a predictable pattern, starting with Trump using it for his personal political gain. And this is super important. We live in a country where mass shootings are an occurrence all the time. And little kids in elementary schools get shot up. And the pro-life, pro-family, pro-Christian MAGA people say, oh, thoughts and prayers. And I want to say it with me again. MAGA is an anti-family death cult. Say it over and over and over again, because that is the truth. He immediately started calling for, I need my ballroom. So let's just for a second just entertain, was this staged? Do I believe for a second that this guy would go, you know what, I need to get my ballroom? Let's stage it so I can say if we had the ballroom, this wouldn't happen. I do believe that. Does that make me a nutty conspiracy theorist? Maybe, but also I don't believe a word this man says. I think he would do anything. He sent a mob to kill his vice president. Here he is calling for his ballroom after the shooting that happened, unfolded on national television. Build the White House ballroom. So he goes on here talking about that we need a large, safe, and secure ballroom built on the grounds of the White House. So this is who the anti-family, pro-death cult, this is what they want. When there is a shooting, they want the biggest criminal in the world to get a $400 million ballroom. Mm-hmm. These people tell you they care about family. They tell you they care about children. They tell you to breed. Katie Miller and Stephen Miller were there last night. Katie Miller's big thing is teen pregnancy has dropped. We need teenagers to get pregnant again. But then you can send your teenager to school in America and they can get killed. And they're not going to do a damn thing about it. And it's amazing what a cult the entire MAGA movement is. Trump got all of his minions online to support him. And here is someone from inside the Death Star. Ashley St. Clair, the baby mama of Elon Musk, is going through some things right now. And she's here speaking about the coordinated MAGA response to this shooting. Play the clip.
So last week, I told you guys that all of MAGA is paid and they coordinate their messaging in lockstep via group chats. And what do you know? All of these people came to the conclusion that after they saw what happened at the White House Correspondents Dinner, their first thought was all independently, Trump needs his ballroom. The statistical likelihood of this happening in a vacuum, if we are to stipulate that these people are not coordinated, the statistical likelihood of this happening, that they all came to the same conclusion, not probable, okay? I think it's also important to note that one of the main group chats in which they coordinate this messaging is literally called Fight, Fight, Fight after the attempt on Trump's life in Butler. Okay, and this has the official Trump War Room, members of the administration, including James Blair, and all your favorite MAGA influencers. And I would log on and show you more of these messages, but I can't log on to Twitter because they're suing me for $75,000.
Okay, I don't know what the tail end of that is. I'm sure it's some incident with the father of her child. But here's the thing. This is like such a toxic cult. And inside the cult, they're all in this bubble wrap. And they're in these group chats, whether they're Nazi chats, where they're talking about Heil Hitler and all this shit. And then J.D. Vance, of course, refuses to condemn that. Why? Because even J.D. Vance thinks Trump is Hitler. Even people in Trump's 1.0 see that there's comparisons that come out of that regime saying this guy is a fascist. So the people that are left surrounding him are intentional losers. Even Trump himself says, I like to hang out with losers. All right. I like to hang out with losers. Okay. And so this is a moment where we have to look that there are these MAGA influencers in the right-wing media ecosystem that are completely devoid of any journalistic integrity and are rumor mongers and just hyped up on MAGA at all times, right? Really, really broken people. But then you have corporate news like CNN that continue to sanewash and provide cover for this bullshit 11 years into it. Here is Dana Bash on CNN. Play the clip.
And you have, as many of your fellow Democrats, have used some heated rhetoric against the president. And do you think twice about that when something like this happens?
What rhetoric do you have in mind?
Just talking about some of the fact that he, is terrible for this country and so on and so forth. I understand that that's your Democratic right, but overall, do you
I have
a
no
responsibility?
personal problem with Donald Trump at all. I mean, I talk about the policies of this administration.
All right. I want to get your take, Pumps, on the way Dana Bash framed that to Congressman Raskin.
I was irate. I really liked Dana Bash, but I thought that was a complete fail on her part. And it's interesting that it's always, let's go back to the rhetoric by the Democrats. According to the manifesto, the portions that I read this morning, this guy was mad that Trump's in the Epstein files, that this administration is in the Epstein files. He's mad that we have a rapist in the administration. Those were the things. And he felt this divine, righteous God thing about, he's super Christian. So to sit there and act like it's rhetoric when the reason these type of people, this guy in particular, went after Trump is because of Trump's actions. And I will say again, do not lecture me as a Democrat about rhetoric when at the top of the food chain, Donald Trump calls names. He called Nora, O'Donnell a bad person, like quiet piggy, all that shit. Like, shut up. That's how I feel about that.
Well, I think it's just incredible moral collapse of journalism on behalf of Dana Bash. And this isn't the first time for Dana Bash. This has been a culmination of CNN making this rightward shift and losing all objectivity. And this is incredibly dangerous. The rhetoric that comes out of Donald Trump, the enemy from within, calling liberals vermin, specifically targeting blue states, the ability for him to govern in an illegal, immoral way and get cover from Dana Bash is so inherently disgusting. And she knows Congressman Raskin is a good person that operates in facts and not rhetoric, period. Everybody knows that about Jamie Raskin. Dana Bash is also the one who is covering in a time of war with Iran. She's covering this whole Hassan Piker as this, a horrible person thing. She did a whole bit on it. And it's so transparent. Dana Bash is so pro-Israel that she gets so blinded because Trump will allow Israel to do anything illegal that they want. And so we have people in media who have these personal desires of things that they want to extract from the Trump regime for personal reasons, and they're not called out, and they continue to do this. And one of the biggest ways that MAGA has been able to continue to commit crimes and nobody believes a word anybody says is because of the false equivalency that was just done there right by Dana Bash. CNN has been on a complete faceplant spiral for a very long time, and that was some of the worst example of journalism I've seen. I saw a lot of other sanewashing online last night of Brian Seltzer, like the president's handling this so well. And I'm just like, shut up. No, he's not. He absolutely is not. The ability, Van Jones was on there talking about the president acting so great. It's just insane. When you have sane people or people that know better, that can present themselves sane enough, and then she wants to play, look at how objective I am. And I just want to say one thing. I think it's completely wrong for the White House Correspondents Dinner to have even taken place. This administration and their attack on the First Amendment is unprecedented. To go into that room and play patty cake with this regime and the death threats that have ensued for journalists because when Trump sets their sights on them, to me, is just an extension of this moral collapse that is happening all across this country. And I think the media needs to get serious. Corporate media is continuing its death march. Dana Bash just put the cherry on top of it. I mean, that is just now anything she says moving forward, I would deem unwatchable. And she has zero journalistic credibility, period. And that's the way these things need to be called out. We can either play patty cake and provide cover for Dana Bash, or we can say enough from this whole channel. It is the sane washing that they have done